Fox River Commission's ecological funding implementation. That's
It's a mouthful.
it is a mouthful, yes. All right, thanks, Greg.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom. How's everybody doing today? My name is Gregg Breese. I work with RES. We're an ecological restoration firm nationwide. We go out and find ways to put projects on the ground that make a difference in our world out here. To date, we've restored tons and tons of wetlands, rivers, and streams. But today I want to talk to you about the Fox River Watershed and the sewer frac project that we have been working on that is kind of starting to heat up a little bit and make some progress. A little bit of an outline about what we'll go through today is the project vision and goals, the approach, proposal, and what opportunities are out there for us. So again, I'm certain that almost everybody in here almost has this memorized, but the vision of the sewer frac and sewer pack study was basically improve water quality and the overall health of the water bodies throughout the watershed and promote public health, safety, and quality of life, which is a great goal, and I'm very, very proud to be a part of pursuing that. Our overall project goal right now, to be honest, we see it as 6 steps to getting to a actual grant application, but there are several steps that will be ongoing throughout the duration of this project. Project and landowner identification. At RES, we do have a entire lands team. We have somebody here, Noah. Would you raise your hand, Noah? He's on our lands team. He'll be out talking with landowners and trying to identify potential projects throughout. At this time, we are all the way up to the stakeholder and partner outreach. We're getting there with this project and moving forward. So the approach, what we're trying to get done here is we're trying to reduce the overall nutrient in the Fox River and the tributaries and stabilize everything going forward. Some of the supporting ideas that we have behind that are trying to find a more sustainable funding source for the sewer frac program to make sure that this isn't just a one-off time where we come in and get one project done and then it goes away. We really would like to find a way to make this sustainable into the future so that we can continue to put quality projects on the ground, get them done so that Fox River continues to improve. And we have a lot of ways of doing this because it's such a long-term program. One of the big ones that Tyler will be talking about is our story maps. So as we were going through and prioritizing projects, we were looking at the sources that were out there. And I think at this point in time, it gets into a lot of GIS, and I'll ask Tyler to walk us through this.
So with the sewer pack Fox River study, there were quite a number of potential erosion and agriculture sites identified. That in conjunction with some of our partners from the counties, they've also submitted some potential projects for us. And my role in the project is basically to catalog everything into GIS and sort of create a living online map that we can continue to update as new potential projects come online. So as you can see here, these are the sites from the Fox River study, 3,900 potential agriculture sites and 69 potential erosion sites. That's a lot to deal with. So one of the things that I did was to go through and score these based on some GIS criteria. We had a universal scoring metric, and then we broke it into an agriculture and erosion specific scoring metric. In addition to that, we added flags to each of the potential sites based on certain characteristics that those sites have. And I'll just go to the next slide here. This is our scoring metric. I'm not going to go through all of these, but essentially we're looking at, does the ag site have a hydrology feature running through it? Does it, is it adjacent to a natural area? Is it adjacent to, other things of importance? What is the total acreage of the site? And so we applied scoring to all of those different criteria. In addition to that, we added specific flags to the data so that we could easily filter through all of these sites based on whatever characteristics the site has. So if the site's in a floodplain, we flag that. If it has a headwater or tributary stream on or adjacent to the site, we flag that, so on and so forth. We're looking at hydric soil composition, soil erodibility. All of these are, characteristics that we want to be able to apply specific grant money to. So maybe it's a wetland restoration or strip cropping, so on and so forth. Coming out of that scoring, we had a hierarchy of different agriculture sites and erosion sites. We wanted to start at the highest scoring sites, and so we've identified 118 sites that we are pursuing for landowner outreach. And as we get through those 118, then we'll go down to the next highest scoring sites and so on and so forth. You can see in the map on the right, those are those sites and where they're located. There's many more not shown on this map. Same thing with the erosion sites. We started with, 69 sites and identified the top 33 sites, and we're working with our partners to sort of continue to evaluate those. What you see here is this online map that I've been working on to sort of catalog all of these data and sites. This is actually an outdated screenshot. We have more sites on our map. This is going to form the basis for the story map going forward that we're going to use for stakeholder engagement and for the grant application and so forth. As we take these potential sites and convert them over to actual projects, we'll bring those into the story map and have a much more in-depth, detailed narrative about each of those specific sites and how they relate to the project goals.
Power of GIS, right? So under our current terms, we were looking at many different potential grant opportunities out there to try and match up with sewer frac. Kind of the top 5 right now that have come to the top is RCPP, the TRIM grant with Wisconsin DNR, the North American Wetland Conservation Act, and surface water grants. We also have another team with both that is working on infrastructure grants, and they're seeing where they can match all of those up. The main one that we're working on right now is the RCPP application. Has anybody ever heard of RCPP? Excellent. I don't have to explain a ton about it. Basically, it's a NRCS program where it's a matching program where we're trying to come up with match dollars at a 1-to-1 rate at least. Preferably, we'd get up to a 2-to-1 or a 3-to-1. We don't have to have it all lined up by April 13th, thankfully, but shortly thereafter would be great. It includes any conservation work on private agriculture and private forestry land. So if you are a landowner and you're interested in doing some restoration on your property, I think we would like to talk to you. That would be a very good thing. It does exclude the Fox River, the main channel of the Fox River. Can't go there, and generally public land. We're pursuing an alternative funding arrangement. This is a new one through NRCS. They give out 15 of these awards every year, and again, it's anywhere from $250,000 up to $10 million. There's key criteria that go into this. We have to have a positive impact and good solutions that address the natural resource problems. I think what you saw with what Tyler's presented, we've nailed this down from the sewer pack report with some additional information from the counties and other folks, and we've got a very compelling story to tell about what kind of an impact we're going to have. We need to have partner contributions, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. And then we have to have partnerships. So we want as many of you engaged throughout this process as possible. If you're interested in it, again, please see us. There we go. So the RCP project area is the entire watershed area. That's the way NRCS looks at these things. So it's the headwaters of the Fox River. We're looking at protecting riparian areas, restoring any wetlands that we have been able to identify that are currently farmed or are not productive. We're looking to improve and help out with on-farm practices that could reduce the sediment loading and the runoff from agricultural sites. And of course, I think everybody here knows about the benefits of pursuing these types of projects. Bottom line is it's an increase in water quality. As we get down to specific sites, and maybe Tyler, you can talk a little bit about the map that's here. As we get down to specific sites, we really drill down into the details right on the desktop by looking at what the situations are. On this particular map, how many different layers do we have here?
Yeah, so what we're showing is just a high level site concept. We haven't designed the conceptual plan, but this is just layering on different data sets that can help us understand those characteristics of the site. So what we're seeing here is hydric soils, existing wetlands, topography, the contours are hard to see, and highly erodible soils. Hydrology is also shown on here, although that's also hard to see. But basically just kind of getting that high level baseline understanding of what's on this site, what are the potential for different projects here, and then, you know, eventually working towards a conceptual plan to sort of solidify that project.
So you can see before we even go out and put boots on the ground, we have a pretty good background and idea of what we're going to be seeing when we get to a site. We do have a specific request for partners out there. Anybody who has matching money or time that they can bring forward. If you have funding that you'd like to bring forward to assist with this application, that would be wonderful as well. Any letters of commitment or support, and specific project cost sharing. If there's a particular project that you have an interest on that's on your property or somewhere adjacent that you might be able to help out with the actual funding of that project, all of those things can be counted into the grant, the program application. Municipal projects can count as cash matches. It has to be money that's spent within the Fox River watershed and spent after the award. So assuming that we would get this award, that would be after sometime around August of 22. So the projects that counties or municipalities are currently undertaking that are geared towards water quality improvements or habitat improvements in Fox River watershed, almost any of those can be brought forward as match money with the RCPP. It also can include staff time that it takes to design or develop those projects, doing the outreach. Typical projects would be on-field practices that would reduce the nutrient costs, stream bank stabilization, wetland restoration, flood control projects also can count into this. So anything that, basically anything that's going on the ground that's a conservation type project could be considered within the RCPP for grant money, for matching money. The key is it must be on private land and non-industrial forest land. There are limited circumstances where you can go onto public land, but those are very limited. It has to address a natural resource concern, which we all share in the Fox River of water quality, and using the sophisticated tools such as what Tyler has developed in GIS. Those are the kinds of things that they look for. If you're a WPDS permit holder, how could this project benefit you? Through adaptive management. If you're a WPDS holder and you're in an adaptive management program, the chances are that this program will bring additional projects into your watershed that can go on the ground that can help you meet your ultimate compliance with your permit limits down the road. And you may not have to pay for them. It could be funded through the RCP or partnered with the permit holder. If you're into water quality trading with your WPDS permit, or you're in the MDV, we can look at combined specific projects for nutrient credits and allow the permit holder to perhaps obtain those credits instead of them just going directly to another source. Projects could count as watershed projects within the MDV for compliance, and MDV is multi-discharge variance under the Wisconsin pollutant discharge permits. To receive what kind of projects will actually get funding if we get through this program? Private land and projects, this is a repeat, my apologies. Looking at some of our partners that are coming in. The Nature Conservancy in Wisconsin, they are an RCPP partner in this application. They're doing a stream restoration that they have offered up as match. It's on a tributary to the Mukwonago River, and they're doing a complete restoration, including filling in old fish farm ponds and restoring the wetland, reconnecting the floodplain, remeandering the stream. So it's a complete restoration out there. They're also working towards helping out a farmer-led watershed group out there. So it's a great partner to have, and we're hopeful that we get more like that. We've also received commitment from Michael Fields Agricultural Institute. Again, they are supporting the farmer-led watershed groups. They work on on-farm practices and try and get things accomplished there. They're also researching to quantify how certain practices are affecting the leaching, sedimentation, or other soil health properties on farms. So kind of what you had heard earlier today. Our list continues to grow, and I would like to see it grow more because I think there's a lot more people and partners that that should be involved with this. But right now, obviously, we've got sewer pack and sewer frac, Fox River Cause, a whole slew of governmental bodies, and a couple of academic areas. I noted that UW Whitewater, my alma mater, isn't on here, and I think I'm going to be talking to somebody from there later today. But bottom line, if you're interested in being involved with this, we do have a 2-page summary. It's sitting on the back table.
It's on the table back when you come in.
Please feel free to grab this and take a look at it and reach out to us and contact us. We're really starting to build up the stakeholder list, the potential project lists, and the application timelines. I'm talking mainly today about one particular application. There's more to come. As I said, the goal of this is to create a sustainable revenue source for sewer frac to continue on into the future. So with that, because we're down to about 3 minutes, I open it up to any questions that you might have. Yes, sir.
Regarding matching funds, just came up with a conversation last night. If you're going to be using professional services as your match, what is the resource that you use to determine an hourly wage? You know?
What is the resource that you use to determine an hourly rate wage under the RCPP?
Yeah, so I think they refer to like some federal standard, but
They do. The federal labor laws. So whatever the rate is under the federal codes, that would be what the rate is. Any other questions? Before I step off, we do have another person here, Rye Thompson. He's a project manager. He's working on the RCPP and the overall project as well. We are going to be here all afternoon, and I'd encourage you to reach out to us and please see us because we really would like to talk to everybody and get as many folks involved with this as we can. So with that, I thank you all for your time.